this. Welcome. Okay, so Jamie asked me to speak tonight about Instagram, all things social media, all of that good stuff. So I'm so excited to talk about that tonight and just give you guys tips and mostly just like give you things that I've learned. I feel like every single month, Facebook and Instagram and all of these things are changing all the time. So we're just trying to evolve with it. But yeah, I'm just really excited to show you guys what has worked for me. And if you can pull something from it, that's amazing. And if you guys have any questions, you can either put them in their chat or even interrupt me. Like, I don't really care. I want this to be interactive, especially because I know some things are really specific. So if I'm talking about filters and you guys are curious about it, like go ahead and just interrupt right away. Because I might be able to show you something online or just go deeper, right? So if you guys have any questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If someone could like unmute themselves and let me know that you can see this too.
You can see it.
You're good, we can see it.
Amazing, let's see, how about here? Wait, I don't wanna do that. Okay, you guys can see it okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so Instagram training, I'm just gonna focus on expanding your audience, engaging and creating content that really just showcases who you are, right? So as coaches, Instagram is like our biggest tool. I know that Facebook is amazing for some as well, but for me, Instagram has been like my go-to, and it's where literally I would say like 95% of my clients get signed up. The other 5% is like from those who I meet in person at Cycle Bar or just friends of mine, stuff like that. So Instagram, with that being said, is totally a huge thing to focus on. So to preface this, I just want to say that Instagram is your store, right? And throughout the training tonight, I'm really going to give you guys actual tangible things to take and do this week. But I want you guys to change your mindset around who you are and what your job is and how Instagram plays a role, right? So it's not just a fun app for us to hop on anymore. Like, it's still amazing and fun, but it's your job. It's your store. And if you owned an ice cream shop, that's what I'm going to talk about all the time tonight. But if you owned an ice cream shop and it was your job and you were the CEO, you would show up every single day, right? Probably around the same times. So every single morning, you close at night, right? Like, you're showing what you're doing throughout the day. You're showing up the entire day. With that being said, you're catering to your audience as well. So whoever your target market is, you want to be posting things that have to do with that. You want to be attracting those who are going to be interested in what you have to show, and you're going to be evolving with Instagram and all of the new technology and stuff that is being showed, right? Another thing too, since this is your job and it's something that we want to pour attention into, it needs to be good looking. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect because that's out of style, but remember that when people are scrolling, they look at your stuff for like less than half a second, right? Like, your page has to be popping, it has to attract the eye, and right away they should know that you do fitness and you're a coach just from looking at your page, almost like you have something to offer them, right? So within like the first couple of seconds, that should be something that they can see. So another thing is, it takes work, right? So if you do part-time effort into Instagram or anything like this, it's going to create part-time results, which is so true for your workouts, for your business, for Instagram, for everything, right? So if you only show up like 3 days out of the week, I bet you that all of the people that are watching you those 3 days only trust you like half as much as they would if you showed up 7 times a week, right? So really making sure that you're showing up every single day, showing your face and being there. And just a reminder, like, we all start with 0 followers, right? So if you're someone that's concerned about your followers right now and the numbers, don't worry too much about that. I'm actually going to get into that later, but just realize that like, I started with 0, Jamie started with 0, we all did. And it takes time to build trust, and it takes time to build an engaged following. So with that being said, moving forward, I'm going to give you guys tips, and I want you to cater it to who you are, right? So you're not going to copy me. You're not going to copy Jamie, Ashley Molstad. You're going to be yourself, which is like the coolest thing about our job. Okay, fear, before I get into like the actual stuff too. So if you're scared of posting, sharing your story, I know for me, when I first started coaching, I had a fitness Instagram for like 1.5 years, and I had never once spoken into my phone. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like Instagram stories at first for me were the scariest thing. I didn't like the sound of my voice. I didn't know what to say. I was nervous, which is so crazy to me that people following me for a year and a half, if they didn't know me personally, they didn't know what my voice sounded like, which is so weird, right? And Jamie told me within like my first week to talk into the camera. And I did. And I think it was about like my dog or something random. But just remember that fear is a mindset thing. And that is the only thing that's going to stop you like with anything, right? Like this business is not hard. It is hard work, but mindset is the number one thing. So just realize that the more you post, the more you do stories, the more you talk, the more you show your face, the more practice, the easier it gets. And if you're scared of what people are going to say, because you have to understand that like the actual action of posting isn't scary. What's scary is letting other people see it and wondering what they're going to say about it, right? Like that's the scary part. So when you go to the root of that, why do you even care what other people think of you? Especially if you're doing something that you love, and especially if you're coming from your heart, right? So if they don't support you, you don't need them in your life. You will get haters. I've gotten a few, not all to my face, but like it happens, right? And the first time I like bawled my eyes out, and I'm glad it happened because I learned not to do that, not to care. And then also you're not paying anyone or making anybody follow you, right? Like it is their choice to watch you. So don't worry about people. Think about like all of the people who you inspire by showing up every single day. So don't worry about that. And again, like if you're scared about posting a progress photo or just talking into your stories, because all of it's scary at first, really go back to the root of fear and listen to a podcast or anything that is just going to really help you move forward through that. Okay, so outlines for today, I just am going to talk about more of the structure. So like how many times to post a day, stuff that I have learned that has worked for me personally. And then the second part is what to post, more so like branding yourself. And then the final touches in terms of filters, stuff like that. And then the fun stuff, growing your Instagram and inviting, stuff like that. So let's get started. I can't see the chat with my stuff, but I'm going to look at the questions afterwards. So, okay, so structure of Instagram. So this is kind of hard because Instagram is constantly changing, but I will say that what has worked good for me is posting actual posts about 4 to 7 times a week. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to make that smaller. I don't know if you guys can even see that. Okay, so I'm trying to post just about 4 to 7 times a week, and realize you guys, for like an actual photo post, don't just post a post, right? Like you have to have purpose behind every single one. And I like to kind of say it as like your feed should be a story of your life. Compared to stories is where I have people take action. I engage with them. I talk about random things. I almost make them feel like they're at coffee with me and they're like best friends with me, right? Whereas my actual feed of posts is more of, am I on vacation? Am I at home? Am I at Cycle Bar? Am I walking my dog Cayenne? What am I doing during my life, right? And then each of those posts loop back to my lifestyle of coaching and fitness and stuff like that. So I would recommend for you guys actual posts to try to get 4 to 7 a week and looping them back to coaching, fitness, and any other thing that has to do with yourself, which I'll get into later as well. But I just want to give you guys an example here. Here's a photo of me and Cayenne, right? It's a basic photo. There's nothing special about it. Yet I start talking about Operation Work From Home with your animals, because you all know that I'm obsessed with my cat, my dog, and I'm always home with them, right? AKA my new coach mentorship, meaning I immediately hit the fact that all my animal lovers out there, this job could be for you because you get to work from home. 2, that photo is cute because who doesn't love dogs? And 3, it's a random photo, but it shows part of my life, right? So my feed is literally like 50% dogs and cats because that's half of my life, right? But I always loop it back to like, why is this so special for me? Why can I spend so much time with them, right? So another tip for actual post is check your insights. I don't know if you guys have a business Instagram set up. I think some of you guys do, right? If you don't already, I highly recommend it because you can check your insights. So every single day I just check my audience and it tells you like what time of day they're most active on it. And then I make sure to post. For me, it's like 6 p.m. And I usually post around 6 p.m. because I know that most people are going to be on and see it right away. Okay, so structure of Instagram continued. So I talked about posting 4 to 7 times a week. Again, that's not like, I don't know if that's right. I'm just saying like that's what has worked for me. But I will say like do your thing, because Carly is amazing. She's actually like top 30 coach now. She's from Washington. She lives in Sammamish, for all of you Washington girls. But she posts like 3 times a day, no filters, just literally her daily life. Her captions are amazing. If you don't follow her, I recommend it, because she does a great job at storytelling, and that is her job, right? She really brings you into her life. I literally feel like I'm best friends with her, but I've only met her like 2 times, which is so funny. So she posts about 3 times a day. It's like the most random stuff, but it all somehow has to do with coaching. And every time I read her stuff, I'm like, how did you write that? Like, that's amazing. Like, why didn't I think of that first? Right? So check her out for inspo. But that's another example. If you're someone that wants to show like your meals and your workout and your dog, post 3 times a day, right? Like whatever fills your cup and whatever makes you feel good. I would just recommend showing up at least 4 to 7 times a day with posts, or a week. Okay, stories. So this is a totally different thing, right? So the past few slides were about actual posts. This is about Instagram stories. I will say for me, I am all about Instagram stories. Posts are great and I use them to tell my life story, but Instagram stories, like this is where I get action. This is where I get my followers to connect. This is where I get them to actually go to link in my bio, tap my poll, or sign up. You guys should be checking every single day your engagement. I noticed that, of course, the more I post throughout the day, the more eyes I have, right? So if I'm not that active on it, I usually will have like 800 people watching it. But if I'm active, like every hour or two, I'll have like 1,300 watch it. So it makes a huge difference. So that's why I'm saying these things is post at least every 2 hours, every hour throughout the day, right? You want to be someone that is always on someone's feed, right? You always want to be popping up at the top. You want them to be able to follow along with you every single day, to wake up and drink coffee and watch your stories. And I think a good rule of thumb is at least 8 stories a day. I'm going to go into more depth of what those can be, but just be on there consistently. I think it's easy as a coach, especially when we start out, to only post about our workouts or Shakeology or meals, and then we forget to post about our life, and we forget to show people that we're real people too, and we don't just work out, we don't just drink shakes, we actually walk our dogs, or we go ice skating, or we go hiking, like whatever it is you like to do, right? So I want you guys to think about someone's stories you watch every single day. And I want you to think about someone who you've never met before, right? So I think of a few right now, specifically Danielle Natoni. If you know me, you know I'm like the Natoni fangirl. But I watch her stuff every morning when I wake up and drink my coffee, and I seriously feel like I'm best friends with her, but I've never met her before, right? But I trust her. Like I actually would sign up with her, or I would buy something that she recommends on her page, because I absolutely trust her, because I feel like she has really shown me her life, who she is, what she does. And so your goal is to recreate that with your audience. Can you guys still see these slides? I just want a thumbs up. Really. Okay, perfect. I have like PTSD because one time I did a whole thing and I thought that they could see it, and then at the end they told me they couldn't see it. So I was like, oh no. That's why I keep asking. Okay, so we're done with like the logistics and stuff. I want to talk more about, okay, great, we know how much to post, when to post, but like what do you actually post now, right? So one thing I heard from Keisha Fitzgerald, it was like right when I started coaching last year, is like the best advice I've ever gotten. She said to create a brand, think of 5 things you're obsessed with, right? We don't want to just be that fitness girl. We don't want to be that perfect girl with 6-pack abs who work out, drink shake every day, and does nothing else with her life, right? That doesn't resonate with anybody. Perfect is out of style. You need to bring in things that describe yourself, that explain yourself, that will resonate with everybody, right? And what's cool about coaching is this is what's going to set you apart. Like Beachbody provides us all of the tools. So if you try to be like most coaches and post about workouts and shakes and unicorn juice every single day and that's it, like nothing's going to set you apart. Like really start to dive in, like what makes you unique? What do you enjoy? what's fun for you, because that is how you're going to attract your tribe. And I know for me, and Jamie, as our team is building you guys and all of you guys are on this call, which is so cool. Like, thank goodness we get along, right? Like, what if you were pretending to be someone you weren't, and Jamie attracted all of these girls that were awesome, but like just weren't her tribe, right? So at the end of the day, really think about long-term, you're creating a tribe of girls. And so you want to be authentic and you want to be you. So a fun thing to do is just write down 5 things that you could talk about all day long. So for me, that is fitness, it's coaching, but it's also where I live. So Florida, it's my fiance, and then my animals. So those are kind of my 5 things. And this is my feed from this past week. And I wanted to show you guys, you have me in Florida at Cinco de Mayo, which was so crazy and fun. You have my fiance, you have literally 50% dogs right here. And then this is about coaching. This is about fitness, right? So I literally have my 5 things on my feed from this past week. And what's really cool about this is anybody who likes dogs or anybody who's in Miami, anyone who is engaged, they're going to see my page and be like, oh my gosh, like I love that you're in Florida too, or you're engaged, how fun, like have you started planning, right? Like there's instantly things that'll connect people to my page so that they trust me, they feel like they're similar to me, and all that kind of stuff, right? So we want to stray away from the Fitspo Instagram because you're a real person, and you guys, you are more than your workouts, right? You're more than the shakes you drink. You're more than the progress photos. You're more than the weight you are. You are more than all of that. And so express who you are, have fun with it. Like this is such a cool opportunity that we're literally paid to brand ourselves, but we're given tools to use it with, right? So just think of it as a fun opportunity for you to express yourself in whatever way you want to, whatever way you've wanted to your whole life. And also keep it simple, right? So as you can see, my feed has one of each. Just lay out your next week or this week, you guys, and post about one of those 5 things for the next 5 days, right? So tomorrow you're going to post about your workout. The next day you're going to post about your son. Next day you're going to post about your husband. Like whatever you would like, just post about one of those things each week, and that's 5 posts a week, and you're good to go, right? So again, just find like your target market, find who you are, start hashtagging about those things. Like I hashtag Florida girl, Sunshine State, all that kind of stuff, right? Really start to attract girls that might be similar to you. So that's a fun part. So I'm going to go a little deeper into that so you guys actually have tangible things to take away from this. So once you have your obsessions, let's say you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to post about one of them, okay? So I'm going to take Jamie as an example. And tomorrow, let's say she picks her obsession to be family time, because we all know she travels a lot. She's always with her family, which is so amazing. Like you can tell that she cares about that, right? Like she makes it known that this job allows her to travel to spend time with her family, which is crazy, which is so cool. So tomorrow you wake up and you pick your obsession, family time. Then number 2, to write your post, you're going to connect it back to your purpose, why you're coaching, why this helps you, how it's benefited you, right? So how is family time? Like how does that relate to coaching at all, right? So she's going to think about it and she's going to say, oh, well, I actually got to visit my niece in our school today and I got to read to them, and it reminds me of when I was a teacher, yet this time I wasn't anxious because I'm not a teacher anymore. I actually get to visit her, still be in the classroom, but at my own ease because I have another job that supports me, that allows me to do this, right? So 3, that resonates with everybody because she talked about her past, she talked about her old job, and 2, she talks about how coaching still allows her to have the freedom to do things she loves but isn't forced to do, right? So does that make sense to everybody? So you pick your topic, you think, okay, how does my son relate to coaching? Well, coaching allows me to be at home with him, spend time with him. And then 3, resonate. Well, before I had coaching, I had to work all day, so I was away with my son, right? So you kind of just do those steps in order to write a meaningful post that resonates with everybody. And that's how you really pull emotion into this job. And I want to talk about that at the very end, but just to breadcrumb it here, emotions is what fuels a person to buy, right? And we're not salespersons, but people end up buying our stuff, right? We share these tools, they buy because there's an emotion tied to it. So the more that you start to share your story, the more emotional you're going to create this process, and people are going to want to buy because they're going to realize that this is an opportunity for them. So another example here is Ashley Molstad, Top Coach 2019. So another example is fitness, right? So she picks fitness. How does this connect to coaching, her purpose, blah, blah, blah. Well, she realizes that she can resonate because a few years ago, she said that she was going through all of this stuff and she was seeing no results. She wasn't seeing progress. She was dreading it. She was anxious. She was just done with it, right? And that's what she looked like. She's still beautiful. But now she has this program that is helping her and she wants to offer it to them, right? So she ties it to where she was, which resonates with people watching her now, because someone's going to be sitting there saying, oh my gosh, I feel like Ashley's talking to me, like that's me right now. And I need whatever has helped her, right? So that's just another way that you can use this kind of outline to help you create posts that are really going to trigger people. And the way that I like to say it to you guys is like, talk to the girl that you were a year ago or 2 years ago. Like, what did you need 1 year ago? Because sometimes we forget about how far we've come. And a lot of times we'll do progress photos and talk about how we used to feel, but really think about like where you were and what you needed to hear to make a change in your life, right? And that's how you start to create meaningful posts that are deep, that connect with everybody and really help a girl take the first step. Okay, so this is a way that you can kind of create some stuff too. So after you write down your 5 things, which is amazing, I also really, really like to go towards our struggles, right? So I want you guys to write down a struggle for each thing that you experienced last year or just any time before you started these programs or as a coach. So one thing you struggled with physically, whether that was energy, your weight, not fitting in clothes, being out of breath all the time. And then one thing you struggled with financially, even if if coaching has helped you pay for 1 tank of gas or it's given you 1 cycle bonus, like talk about it. Sometimes we forget to celebrate those things, but 1 tank of gas can help a lot of people. That can help all of us, you guys. So talk about a struggle that has to do with that, and then talk about how coaching has helped you, and also a struggle that you used to go through mentally, whether you had the Sunday scaries, you were anxious because you had to move a lot, or you didn't want to have to ask for more time off, all of the things, right? So write down struggles for each of those things, everything that comes to mind. Like if you fill up a page, go for it, because you'll always have stuff to go back to. So when you need something to post about, go back to that, look at those struggles, and then write down how coaching or fitness has helped you go past those, right? This is a solution for you. And when you start to talk about those struggles that you went through last year, you're going to start to realize that when you share them, a lot of girls are going through those right now. But you never knew that because you never talked about it. And they never talk about it either. But then they're going to reach out to you and they're going to be like, hi, like, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, that's actually how I feel right now. Right? Like you have to take that first step and be vulnerable. And Cece just smiled at that. I'm sorry, but it's like that happens, you guys. Like when you share something vulnerable, people are going to reach out to you and be like, oh my gosh, like that's me right now. Like get me going. Like I trust you. Like that literally has happened so many times. And that's how you create trust. That's how you help people take that first step forward. So okay, do we have any questions so far? Or does anybody want to mute themselves and ask about anything specific? Okay, I want to answer that question really quick, actually, that Kelly asked. How do you loop back to coaching when you haven't had a ton of engagement, income from it yet? I totally get that. So Kelly, specifically, you've had a few girls sign up, right? So you've gotten at least a couple $100 from this, which is amazing. Think about what those couple $100 have done for you. Like that's a few trips to the grocery store. That's a lot of gas. That's dinners out. That's whatever you used it for, right? So just really start to talk about it. And you can also talk about how hard it is, you guys. Like sometimes we think that we can only talk about coaching in like a positive light, But if you only talk about like how fun it is, how much money you're making, free trips, all this stuff, like people are probably going to think it's a scam, honestly. And then also you're going to attract people that like don't want to work that hard because you're going to make it look like it's easy. Talk about the times when you show up and you don't want to, when you're tired, when it's your lunch break, when your kids are running around the house, but you have to focus in. Like talk about the times that are hard, because then you're going to attract girls that are like, all right, I need an extra $50 a month. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm down to do the work, right? You want to be honest. You want to show what it takes. You don't have to be embarrassed if you haven't made that much money. Like you guys, the fact that you made money off of working out and helping other people is really freaking cool. I don't care how much you've made. Like that's really cool, and more people need to know about that. So regardless of how much you've made, how much engagement, all of that stuff, which I'll talk about later, be confident in it and don't be afraid to share the grit. You want gritty girls to sign up with you that'll go through the hard stuff, that'll work when they don't want to. That's a great question. I love that. Let's see. Okay, so final touches. This is kind of a fun point. Also, I want to shout out Cece because she's really good at this and I've learned a lot from her. But this is all about your feed. So final touches as in we talked about when to post, we talked about what to post, creating your brand, how to write captions, all of that stuff, right? So now it's like, what should it look like? And sometimes this is the hardest part. And I just want to tell you guys, like I said at the start, Instagram is your store. If you're opening an ice cream shop, I bet you would spend hours and hours and hours making that thing look as amazing as you could make it be, right? I bet it would reflect your personality, your character. I bet it would reflect the quality of ice cream you have, right? Like everything would tie together because that's your store. So is your Instagram. Like we need to start acting like our business depends on it because it actually really does. And so put time into it, make it look good. You don't have to have a fancy camera. You don't have to have someone to take your photos. Like for the majority of this year, I've lived alone, you guys, and a ton of my stuff is taken with selfies and ring lights and stuff like that. Like you just make it work. And then if you're with somebody, take a ton of photos so that you can save them and use them throughout the next couple of months, right? Like there's definitely ways to stock up. So just a few main points is like you want to be real, not perfect, right? But when I say like it's got to look good, try to have some flow, some brand, and I'm going to go over that on the next slide. But make a mix of selfies, day-to-day photos, professionals. I tried to take some of my feed right here where I have a couple selfies. This was literally my backyard. Luke took this one of me. I have like a professional one right here. I have a video. Like I have a mix of stuff, right? So it's not all selfies. It's not all in the mirror. I have some group stuff. I have a mix of everything so that it's not like just me taking selfies every single day. Let's see. Okay, so Instagram is something that attracts the eye. Again, like what I mentioned before, like your page needs to catch the eye right away, right? Like I want you guys to all pull out your phones, look at your page. Would you follow yourself? Don't be judgmental, but like actually ask yourself, like if I were a follower, would I follow myself? That has to do with your bio too. Your profile photo, you guys, I actually heard a podcast that talked about how they could look at somebody's profile photo and know how professional they were just from that. So make sure your photo is light, it's bright, it's a great photo of you. Like try to get a professional one or one that's like just a good quality one of you, right? Versus like a mirror selfie, which I don't know if anyone has that, but just try to get one that is attractive, professional, and just has good lighting, right? Okay, tips for all of your photos. Let your personality shine. If you're a smiler, freaking smile. If you have freckles, I hope you have a close-up of your freckles, right? Like I want to see all of you, who you are. I don't want you to be anybody else. Like be yourself. Because that is what that's what makes people follow you over other people, right? Like I watch certain stories because Danielle Natoni is like nobody else I've ever seen, right? Like she is one of a kind. So I watch her because I think she's awesome, right? So be yourself. Products placement. I have my unicorn juice right there, bottom left. I post photos of my shakes. That's a great way to post a photo if you don't want to post a photo of yourself. Show your products, right? Without saying Shakeology and like Beachbody and stuff, but just always let them know that like you're a coach, you use this stuff too, and that's why they want to use it too. Lighting is huge. That's my biggest tip I could give you guys, like to have your page look, I don't know the word, like the same brightness and same filter. Lighting needs to be the same. I think natural light is the best. So if you can get outside and take photos, make sure you're either in the sun or it's like a cloudy day, but like don't take them when it's dark out. Don't take them in the, I don't know, just like take good lighted photos, right? And it's lit photos. And it's really easy to tell right away if they're good lighting, right? Like it's not that hard. So I can tell that all of these, like I'm outside for all of these. So they look consistent, right? They're the same. Okay, so filters are optional, but also you guys, like a filter can't fix a bad photo. And bad, I don't mean you, I mean like the lighting, right? So where you're at, like a filter cannot fix a poor quality photo. So make sure you start with a good quality photo. That's like my number one tip. And then if you want to put a filter on it to enhance it, not change it, but enhance it, great, go for it. I love them. I use them. I'm all for them. Just understand that like you need to start with good quality photos. Have a mix of indoor and outdoor. That makes it fun. Group photos, events, like I said, like if you're at a fitness event or you're at a bridal shower or you're at brunch, like take a photo, like share your life, you guys. It's not just pretty photos. It's not just fitness ones. You're really trying to share like what do you do day to day so that people can literally just like follow along with your life. You're a storyteller. Okay, so some of my favorite apps that I use for filters, I think I've showed you guys this before, but VSCO, I don't use it that much anymore, but it was my go-to for a while. So if you Google VSCO filters, it actually comes up with a ton of them and it shows you exactly what the presets are. And VSCO, I think it's like $10 or $20 a year. I forget, totally worth it. I would purchase it so that you can have access to all of the presets. But let's say you wanted to do like a pink blush filter, right? I had like a purple one. So you find one that you love and then you put those presets into the VSCO app. And then you're able to save that preset. So every time that you upload a new photo, you can fix it the exact same in like just a click, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Perfect. So that way, like you can filter stuff. I love searching filters because you can really look at like a ton of them and just find what works for you. Like we don't make this up ourselves. I don't like go on there and make the presets myself. My next point, Lightroom, I actually purchased mine, so if that helps. I purchased mine from Alexa Jean. No shame in my game. I actually just love her style, and I was just like, whatever, I'll pay $40. So I purchased it. And what she does actually, which I'm sure a lot of bloggers do because it's a thing now to like purchase them, but they email you all of their photos and then you upload them to Lightroom and then you can copy the photo presets and then paste it on your photos. Really simple, really easy. The only thing that I would be cautious of is like some of the presets are like very heavy or they just like take it a little too far in my opinion for our job specifically. So just be cautious and test them out. Like I tested out like 10 of them that came in the package. It was like a summer package or something. So that was fun, but that's what I'm using right now and I love it. I switch mine up every 4 months because I get bored, to be honest. So you can always switch up your stuff, no biggie. What I also really like is the app in preview. So this is a way that you can upload your entire feed. And I like to do this because I don't really plan ahead my post, but before I post, I see if my photo fits my feed. And you all know what I mean. Like if you have too many faces, like selfies, your feed starts to look just like jumbled and a mess, right? So this app really helps me just lay it out and see, okay, I'm going to post an ocean pic by selfie and then a photo of me standing far away so that you have balance, right? It's not all the same thing. And in preview is free. It's a really, really easy way to just see how you can best lay out your feed. And this is also really nice, like when I'm living by myself like I am right now, like I've already planned out my week of what to post because I know that I have nobody to take photos of me this week, right? So I already have one saved up that I kind of planned out throughout the week. Okay, so again, with the filters, have fun with it, you guys. Like pick something that really talks about your character. It's really fun to see some of the top coaches go wild with them and then others just be low key, right? Like just do whatever feels best to you. Okay, quick check, because I think this is super important. I talk a lot about in this business, like evaluating what you're doing, because straight up, you're the CEO of your business, and it'd be crazy if a CEO of Amazon or any other company didn't evaluate what they've been doing and didn't change, right? So I think so many of us are scared to be hard on ourselves, or we're scared to acknowledge that maybe we could be doing things differently. I think that's the most important thing you could do to evolve and push your business forward with no judgment, right? We are looking back at what we've done and seeing, okay, this works great, this doesn't work great, I'm going to change this and move forward, right? It's not about being hard on ourselves. It's about seeing like what we're currently doing, what we can improve upon. And Instagram is a great thing to do that with. So to check, I want you guys to literally look at your Instagram right now. And again, does it attract your attention? But second, super important, is it dull or bright? Like right away, is it kind of like dull and like moody and kind of like dark, or is it bright and energetic and like attractive? And you should know like the first second. Also check, is it all selfies or is it all professional, or is there a mix? Do you need more professional? Do you need more selfies? Do you need more mirror stuff? Do you need more group photos? And then another one, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. Are all of your photos in the same room or place? Super freaking important, right? Like if you're taking the same selfie in the same mirror every single day, go get some other photos, you guys, because your audience is going to get bored. You can't see the same thing every single day and just change your caption in your sports bra, right? Change it up, have fun with it, put a little effort, like go outside, go to a park. It doesn't mean you have to live in a quote unquote cool place. Like our world is amazing. Like go outside, go find a new place, right? Take photos at your gym. And then last thing is it all fitness, or is it all coaching, or is it all one thing? Like what does it need more of? And that kind of goes back to the 5 things, but you're really able to just see like right away of basically, is my Instagram worthy of a 6-figure business or not? Like think of it that way. Like if that's your goal, is your Instagram reflective of a 6-figure business? Does it compare to other companies out there? Like, I don't know, like any food brands or Victoria's Secret. We don't want ours to look like that. I just couldn't think of a brand. But does it look reflective of a company that is successful? If it doesn't, that's cool. Like that's behind us. But like, let's make changes and let's move forward with that, right? So I think it's really important to just check with yourself, see what needs to be changed, and how you can move forward with this. Okay, into the good stuff. I'm actually almost done, you guys. Okay, so growing your Insta, this is something that I could talk about like a whole nother call, but I'm just like really going to condense it. So I have a little piece of our tracker in here. I'm obsessed with the tracker. I try to use it at least 5 times a week. And I have all my coaches do it because I love it. But the second section is all about Instagram, right? It's about inviting, it's about connecting, it's about following up. And a huge part of it that is overlooked, that I overlooked until literally like last month, you guys, is initiate connections and add followers for 20 minutes, not for 5, not for 3, not throughout the day. Sit down, set a timer, do this for 20 minutes. So this is what I do. I set a timer, and these are my exact actions. So I set my timer, and then I would look up a hashtag that has something to do with me, whether that's like Rock Your Ride for Cycle Bar or hashtag Southern Florida, whatever it is, right? So I look up that hashtag and I see who uses that and who posts. Because for one, whoever is using it, that means they're active. So they're actually using it, right? And then 2, I can go on their accounts and I do the 5-3-1 rules. So I like 5 posts, I comment on 3, and then I follow them. So that isn't engaging. You can't gain followers. I mean, you can, but like, it's kind of that thing now where it's like, I'm not going to follow you unless you follow me back, right? Like Instagram is so like that. It's almost like catty sometimes, but you have to follow people. You have to engage in order for them to follow you back most of the time, especially when you're starting out and especially when you're starting to grow it. So another thing that I do is I look up geotags. I think Cece told me about this. But say you have a favorite fitness studio by you, look up Cycle Bar, look up a yoga place, look up SoulCycle, look up whoever posts with that geotag, and follow those girls, 531, right? Same with favorite bloggers, look at who follows them, go through their followers, 531 rule, studios nearby again, right? So you kind of get the point of like, you have a whole app with millions and millions and millions of people on them. Like, don't tell me you ran out of people to invite. Like, this is why the tracker has 20 minutes of doing this, right? And what's really cool about this is, you guys, people are always going to be looking at your stuff, even if they don't follow you, right? So when I do this, I can see on my stories, I'm like, oh my gosh, the girl that I follow today watched all of my stuff. That's really cool, right? She might not sign up, but at least she knows who I am and she knows what I do. Because going back to what I talked about the other slides, every single day I'm posting on my stories what I'm doing, and on my feed I have what I'm doing. So anybody that watches it, I can trust that that's basically the same as me having a conversation with them, telling them that I work out from home, I'm a coach, and I have something for them, right? It all loops together, you guys. So make sure that you start with having everything on your stories. And then when you follow people, you can trust that your Instagram speaks for itself, right? And also think of this, like, I was trying to think of a way to express to my girls and myself of like, why is this part so important? Because we're all about invite, but like, we don't talk about this enough. We really don't talk about engaging enough. But imagine every single day you're walking on stage and you have the same 500 people out there, right? And you're telling them that you work out, you drink your shake, you do this, and that you have a challenge group next week. Imagine literally doing that to the same 500 people. Like, you're in person on a stage and you're saying it to them. Like, that's literally what we're doing. We're just behind a phone, which is like a crazy concept, but you're literally doing that same exact thing. So why would you expect your business to move forward if you're talking to the same 500 people? Like, wouldn't it be better if you started to get 20 a day to watch you, 50 a day to watch you, regardless the amount? Like, new eyes, new people in the audience is so, so important. Not only because you can just get more people to work with you and sign up, but create connections for the long run as well, right? Because girls don't always sign up the first month. Okay, a few other ways is to tag brands. Like, if you're wearing stuff, you never know if you're going to get reposted. Like, this is huge. If you're just wearing like cute Levi's, tag them. If you're wearing sunglasses, tag the brand. Like, you'll never know who reposts your stuff. It doesn't matter if it's fitness, just tag brands. You never know. Giveaways are really, really fun. I've done a couple this year. I have one coming up as well. They can be with small businesses. They can be with stuff that doesn't even have to do with working out, like stuff that you just truly love, whether it's a small bracelet company or it's a startup granola bar company. Like, whoever it is, start to really research and start to just message them. Like, what's the worst that can happen, right? Just ask them, because a lot of times small companies especially are so willing to collab and just work with you. And giveaways are a great way to get more traction, followers, all that kind of stuff. So last thing I want to say with hashtags, in terms of you looking them up or using them in your own post, don't do anything to do with coaching. Don't hashtag Beachbody. Don't hashtag 21 Day Fix. Because what you're going to do through that is you're going to attract coaches, or you're going to find coaches' pages, right? And as we know, coaches do nothing for us unless you want to follow them for inspo. And this is a huge reason too why I actually don't talk about it tonight, but like, I don't brand myself as a Beachbody coach. I don't brand Shakeology because I'm not a salesperson, and Beachbody has given me the tools, but I'm branding myself. Like, I look at it as a way, as I love a product, I can't wait to share it, and I'm going to share it in my own way, right? So therefore, like, just avoid the whole Beachbody, Shakeology, hashtaggy, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so organically. So if you guys can tell from what I just said, like, all of that takes time, but that is organically growing your Instagram. It absolutely takes time and effort every single day. Sometimes I dread it, but you know what? It pays off. And I know for me too, I don't have a lot of followers compared to some coaches and most people out there, but I have engaged followers. I can confidently say that I hit High Success Club every single month because I engage with them and they care about what I'm doing. I comment on my followers' posts. I comment on their stories, even if it has nothing to do with my fitness stuff. I engage with my followers and I'm always out there growing it. So I have new eyes, right? Don't worry about numbers, worry about engagement, you guys. Like, forget the whole idea of trying to hit 10K, 20K, 30K followers. Forget that you only have 500, 200. It doesn't matter. What matters is that people care about what you're doing, right? Because half of the accounts are fake ones anyways. Like, it doesn't matter the number you have. Like, you want people that are going to engage with you. So I really want to emphasize that, because if you're a new coach and you're starting one, or your personal Instagram doesn't have a lot, like, that shouldn't even be a concern, right? Like, you have the power to grow it. So just go out there and start engaging with other people. Okay, a couple more slides. How's everyone doing? Everyone good? Amazing. Is this good so far? Is everyone getting it? Anything? Okay, amazing. Okay, so engaging, inviting. So this is kind of going off that last thing, right? So the tracker as well, like if you go back up, I'm all about this section right here. You'll see me do this most days. Okay, so inviting. Who do I invite to my challenge groups? Instagram is where I do all of my inviting, unless I'm in person. I actually was in my class yesterday for Cycle Bar. A mom was talking about struggling working out, and cycling was really hard for her. Talked about 21-day fix. She signed up last night. Crazy, right? So also don't forget, like, as much as we're emphasizing this, talk to people in person. If they're struggling with something, talk about what has helped you. Like, I just told her at first, like, how much it's helped me. I wasn't trying to tell her to use it. I just talked about my experience, right? So remember that you can do that. But in terms of Instagram, who do I invite? I invite to my challenge group specifically people who watch my stories and like my posts. Not sure if this is what other coaches do, but I do not go out there and follow girls and invite them to my groups right away. And I do this for a few reasons, because those who watch my stories and like my post, again, going back to the start of it, I know that I post every single day about what I'm doing, what I have to offer. So I know that they know what I'm doing, right? So when I invite them, I can go back to my stories and I know that they trust me because they have seen me show up every single day. So I can simply say this. I'm not going to read this, but I basically just put it out there to them that thank you for the support. I'm wondering if you'd like to learn more. I have a spot for you. I know exactly that they know what I'm talking about because I post about it every freaking day and they're watching me, right? I probably don't even have to explain much about the meal plan or the shakes because they already know through my stories. So what we talk about is after that is I ask them what they struggle with, because then I use this as a solution for them and I actually care about what they're going through. And then from there, we talk about price and sale is done. Not always, not most of the time, but that's how it would go because I've already gained the trust. I've already told them everything about everything that has to do with this. So all that's left to do is for me to reach out to them. Okay, so after I send that initial invite to those who watch my story or like my post, they either respond or they ghost me or they say no, right? So with any of those things, I would follow up with them no later than a week later. Going back to the tracker, I write down all of the names on my tracker of who I reach out to, so it's really easy for me to go back and follow up. So this is what I would say to a girl that has ghosted me. Yes, I reach out to them again after they have ghosted me. I got over that fear because I don't really care. And I also realize that people can read a message while they're grocery shopping or they're busy or they just had a fight, right? Like, you never know what they're going through. So I usually just say, hey girl, I know I've reached out before. Instead of a winky face, I use that like winky eye with like the tongue out. That's like my favorite emoji. I'm not going to do it, but you all know what I'm talking about, right? So it's like kind of like, but I just want to let you know once more that I'd love to have you in our group. That's super nice. Like, there's no harm. And I'm telling her, like, I'm going to let you know one more time, right? And what's crazy, you guys, is girls have replied and said, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry, I forgot to reply, or blah, 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 blah. Or they just didn't want to join at the time, right? So following up is huge. Also, if they originally were interested, and I just haven't heard back to them, because I know you all have had the time where they're interested, you send them info, you don't hear back from them, right? Like, we've all gone through that a ton. So I would just say, hey girl, I know we chatted before. I'd love to save a spot for you. Let me know if you have any questions. And then I also would say, like, we're starting next Monday, would love to have you. Like, you start to put like a little urgency into it, right? So there's different ways to follow up, but I would say make sure you invite and follow up, both of them together, not just one or the other. Okay, who do I invite to coaching? So remember when I talked about looking up hashtags, geotags, all that kind of stuff? These are the girls that I invite to coaching. This is kind of my system. I don't know if it's the right or the wrong way, but this is just what has worked for me. So what I do is on my tracker, right? I follow for 20 minutes and I save one of their photos. I don't know if you guys have all used this, but if you're on someone's page, you can actually save a photo. It's that little thing on like the right side. So I save it. And then when you go to your Instagram, you can go to your saved photos, right? So after I follow them, do the 5-3-1 thing, I look back on my saved photos and I reach out to all of those girls, okay? And I like this because I don't feel like they have to trust me yet, because I'm giving them an opportunity, I'm not selling them. Whereas before, those who I reach out to my stories, not that I'm selling, but like I'm literally asking them to sign up, right? But this way, I'm actually giving them something that I think they would be good at. So I'm gonna go through this quick because we're almost out of time. But a girl that I followed, I reached out to her. This has been a huge one for me because I've been following a ton of Florida girls, but this is what I would say. I would just say like, hey girl, I love that you're in Florida, best state ever. Immediately something that we both relate to, right? Just moved here and love it. Anyways, I love how active you are. I feel like we're so similar. I know this is random, but have you ever thought of health coaching? You'd be amazing at it and I'd love to chat more. I keep it so simple. I get to the point. I don't try to have a fake conversation with them. I literally just say this. And if they don't respond to me, I go back through my tracker a week later, I follow up with them and just say the same exact thing. Like, hey, I know I bugged you before, like that emoji face, just think you'd be amazing at this, right? So if anything, if they ghost you, they're gonna look at your page, which is what I've also noticed too. Like I literally see them watch my stories that day, which is really cool. But also you guys, I have gotten like more than 3 coaches a month from this. And I have to say, like I was off for like the past 2 weeks, but last month I would send around 30 of these a day, 5 times a week. And I got like 4 coaches signed up. So if you can do that, math, that's not a lot of yeses, right? But that's like pretty good. Like 4 coaches a month, like I can work with that. Like that's a huge opportunity. 1 second, my dog just turned on the TV. She was laying on the remote. So with that being said, it's not a lot of girls, but you guys, I just want you to know too that when I invite all this stuff, like put in the effort. If you're doing 5 a day, bring that up to 15 and then bring it up to 20 a day, at least 5 times a week. I'm not a girl that goes ham 7 days a week, but I will go after it 5 times a week and I do see it pay off. And also what I do see is that girls that I do this to, like that I did 6 months ago, they're just signing up right now too. So I can't express to you the importance of getting out there, engaging, starting a conversation, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so to conclude, I kind of want to run you guys home with this. So I want you to really understand that, I don't know how to say this. Okay, so at the end of the day, we make money off of direct sales, right? So I know we're not about being salespeople and all that kind of stuff, but our commission is a direct reflection of direct sales as well as team cycle bonuses, right? Like cycles literally happen due to your coaches making a direct sale. That's how our business runs. That's why it's a real business. It's why it's not a pyramid scheme. Like it's all based off of direct sales, right? So with that being said, in direct sales, what happens? A purchase is made, right? Someone is buying something, and I want you to understand the psychology behind this, that buying is an emotional response. It is an emotional response to a need that needs to be met, right? So look at your job in a brand new way, okay? So understand that everything that is purchased out there, whether someone's hungry and they need to go to the grocery store, like that is a purchase that is made to meet the need of them being hungry, right? Like every single purchase in this world is made in order to meet a need. And you have to understand that the fitness industry is literally based on emotions. It is like the biggest one I can think of actually, right? Like every purchase is made because somebody is struggling, because they have a need that needs to be met, whether it's to lose weight, to get in shape, to look a certain way, to feel a certain way. There is an emotional need that needs to be met. And it's crazy, you guys, like people are buying freaking diet pills and things that they don't even know what's in them to risk their health in order to look a certain way or to feel a certain way, because their emotion is so strong, because they want to look a certain way so bad. They want to lose weight so bad because they've tried everything. Their emotion is so strong that they end up purchasing things that are probably going to hurt them in the long run, right? You need to look at our job in that light, in terms of we're in one of the darkest yet greatest industries there is, and every single purchase that is made is based on emotions and struggles, right? So you have to understand that when people buy a challenge pack, they're getting all of the tools they need because there's a struggle that they need to get past, and they're looking to you for help. So you have to understand that this isn't about just workouts. This isn't about shakes. If you're not sharing your story, you are a salesperson. I don't care how much we talk about how we're not sales people. If you're on Instagram posting about your workouts and your shakes only, you are a salesperson, and you are probably annoying to most people, right? If you're only asking them to sign up for your groups and you're not really talking about your story, like you're selling. That's what it looks like, right? You're not giving them any value, any background, any story. And I want you guys to think about it this way. If a telemarketer calls you and they're trying to sell a product, you don't know who they are, you don't know their story, you don't trust them. They talk about a product, how great it is, they want to sell it to you. You obviously know that they're trying to make money, right? You probably say no if you're a nice person, politely, or you hang up, or you tell them to never call back. Why? Because you don't care about the product, because first and foremost, you don't trust them and they're annoying. Like there's that stigma in your head. You don't even give them a chance to talk. Like most people answer the phone, they don't even let them talk, right? So I want you to compare that to you. Like share your story. Talk about how last year you just graduated college and you thought you were going to get your life together, but you ended up gaining 20 pounds and you're in a real job and you're stressed and you're anxious. You're trying to make friends again. You have no support, but somehow, some way, this fitness program got into your life. You met amazing girls, and every single day you took a step towards a happier, healthier you. Talk about your story. Like it's not about the weight that is lost. It's not about the fitness program. It's not about the sweaty selfies. It's about who you were last year and who you are today, right? Like your story is what is going to make an impact. It's not the actual product, that it's not the sale, right? And so without a story, like you're just being salesy. So I really want you guys to dig deep into who you were last year and what can resonate with those watching you. Also, last thing, progress photos. Share the story behind them. This might not be something that everybody agrees with, but if you're sharing 10 progress photos of people that you don't personally know, that also looks really salesy. It's totally okay, in my opinion, to share those who are on our team, but ask them their story. Like write a little bit about it, right? Like write about how Sally was a mom or is a mom. She's had 4 kids. She works a full-time job, but she's lost 20 pounds because she's worked out 30 minutes a day, with the progress photo. Give a story, because a progress photo without the story is just a progress photo and looks a little salesy again, right? And if it's your client, you better be talking into your phone, talking about their experience, their journey, and celebrating their success, right? Because a photo without a story doesn't have much context, and the photo is a supplement to the actual experience, right? So again, I don't know how much I can press this, you guys, but we have amazing tools. We have fitness, we have shakes, we have meal plans that are amazing. They work, we get that. But the thing is, people don't know that. They need to trust you. They need to know why it works, who it's worked for. They want to hear stories, because again, you'll be amazed at how many stories are similar to yours, but you didn't know that until you had the guts to start to share it, right? So to end, treat Instagram as if your business depends on it, because it seriously does. So I hope that helped you guys. You guys can unmute, ask questions if you want. Did anybody learn anything?
I feel like every time I listen to one of your Instagram like videos, I always learn something new. So this was really helpful.
Good. I'm glad. Okay, so I'm looking at the chat. Does anyone have, okay, let's see. Does anybody have any questions though specifically? Okay, Sarah asked, she wants to change her screen name, but not sure if it's a bad idea. Will it confuse the people who haven't followed me? I don't think it really confuses anyone, because if you look up the previous name, like it'll pull up your new one for a while. Because I know Danielle did that. She changed her name. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was thank you.
No, yeah, I don't think it's confusing, because when you search a name of like what it used to be, Instagram will like connect the dots and like pull up your.
Okay. I think that was my concern. So thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. How do you connect with strangers and invite them? I think I covered that. If you have more questions, Anna, we can talk about that further. But again, just going out in the hashtags, following them, engaging. I just invite them to coaching. Okay, and then Kelly kind of asked the same thing about, do you always follow people and engage before you invite? I feel like I just want to invite, not sure how to always personalize it. So a lot of this, I get that. So again, like the way that has worked for me, you guys, is inviting through my stories and posts, because I know they trust me, to my challenge group specifically. Sometimes I'll ask them to coach too. That's cool. But if I'm going out there finding new girls, I won't invite them to my challenge group right away. They might be girls that end up watching my stories. That's cool. But mostly those strangers are ones I invite to coaching. Okay, those are like most of the questions. You guys have anything else, or are we good?
Are you still using Google Streak, or are you just using the tracker now?
Oh boy. Okay, so I switch a lot, but Google Streak I use every single day for emails. So if I have my groups, so right now I have my 80-day that's starting next Monday. I have like a pipeline of who I send info to, and then I have a pipeline of who's interested, who I sent a cart to, and then who purchased it. Those are like my 4 things. And I just move them through that pipeline so that I can email all the girls that haven't responded, email all the girls who haven't purchased their cart yet, and send stuff to all of the girls that are in the group. Does that make sense? So that's what I use that for. Google Streak is amazing if you guys haven't used it yet. Like for emails, it's lifesaver. So quick, so easy, organized. And then for my tracker, that is what I use for my invites. At first I was nervous, but I just keep them in a binder so I can easily like go back to previous weeks and see who I invited.
Hey, I'm also trying Teamzy. I'm doing this 30-day trial, and Teamzy has for like every network marketing company. Like they have like Roden and Fields, they have a Beachbody one. For me personally, Streak is met with such resistance. I know that it works, and if you can get into it, I know it. But for me, like it just, I don't know. I get like overwhelmed. I have a lot going on. So with Teamzy so far, what I'm realizing is that they will send me a prompt to follow up with someone, right? So like I'm making notes with people. They have a whole script. So if you don't have, I mean, not that we should use scripts, you can kind of tailor it yourself, but they have different scripts for each person, and you can send it via Facebook message, Instagram, and it'll say like this person follow up within a week, this person follow up the next month, and they'll prompt you for it, which is for me really, really helpful. Like that's what I need. I need someone like in my ear telling me what to do, because for whatever reason, the streak just kind of gets lost. And then I just have like papers on papers, you know, I'm just like, I'm all over the place. So I've liked Teamzy so far. It's going to come at a cost, but you write it off. It's a business expense. And if it'll help you stay organized and remember to follow up with people from like 6 months ago or even last month that you just dropped the ball on. Cause like I'm talking to, I don't know, I'm sending 70 invites a day, right? Like that's what I'm doing right now. So it's just too much for me to keep track of. So Teamzy, they have a 30-day free trial, and yeah.
That's awesome. No, I love that. And also that's a really good point, because Danielle and I are opposite in every way possible. We love each other. But like there's no system that is right or wrong. Like figure out something that works for you guys. Like tracker is great for me, but I also switch around things all the time. So Streak works for me, it doesn't for her. That thing might work for her, it might not for me. The cool thing is like you can figure out what works for you because we all function differently, which is awesome. So just explore. Also, if you look up stuff like different calendars, different tracking stuff, like there is so much stuff out there. It doesn't have to be what somebody else in this group uses. You could go out there and find something new. Cool. Okay, I don't want to hold you guys. I want to respect your time. So are we all good? You guys all good? Okay, I'm gonna take a quick picture and then I'll let everybody off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Yay. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight, you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week and we'll all chat soon. Bye.